Jody Stewart, and I started JLYASDI's journey 8 years ago. And I never knew what journey that God was taking me through. I thought that I was going to my 6-month appointment for my first baby, and everything was going to be fine. Maybe a little bed rest or something because my hands and feet were swelling. Then 12 hours, we had to do an emergency C-section because I had toxemia and preeclampsia, like very, very, very high blood pressure. And when Dr. Malden checked me, he said, we're going to have to go into emergency C-section. He set my family down. We might lose mom, we might lose baby, and we might lose both. So Dr. Malden is an awesome Christian man of God, and he prayed with my family and put it in Jesus' hands and said, whatever happens, it's up to Jesus, and we're just going to lay it in Jesus' hands. And off we went. And when I woke up and came to, they said, yes, obviously I survived, and that JJ, I'd had a baby girl, that she survived, but she's only 1 pound and 15 ounces. She's 13.5 inches long, so a little longer than a ruler. And she is in what we call the NICU right now, so you can't see her right now. They're working on her. Come to find out later, through pictures, I saw that they were bagging her, trying to get her back. A lot of the intensive care to try to keep her little body and keep her here. A journey that Jesus started even 5 years before I had my daughter. Her name is Jimmy, Jimmi, after her dad, Jimmy, and her middle name is JLYASDI. And JLYASDI is a name that a lot of people have trouble pronouncing and saying, and they're like, what is that? And then when I tell them, they're like, whoa. JLYASDI stands for Jesus loves you, and so do I. And it was 5 years before I even thought about having a baby that I knew if I had a girl that Jesus gave me this name. And everybody thought I was just crazy. But I stuck to it because I knew God had given me that name for my daughter when I had one. For her to know that Jesus loves her no matter what, she can't get away from it. She's always going to remember that Jesus loves her. And everybody that says her name is going to hear just the testimony in her name, and then also know that Jesus loves them just by her name. We thought we need to do something for these families because God's brought us through, knowing her name, and then we went through our personal journey, all the ups and downs that you have, and it really makes you take a step back and think, is your faith real, and who's going to get you through this? And I learned real quick that yes, my church family, and yes, my regular immediate family, my friends, close family got me through, the support networks, but without Jesus, there's no way. There's absolutely positively no way that I would have made it through this journey, which brings me to how we started JLYASDI's journey, wanting to minister to other families and just encourage them and let them know that Jesus loves them, and so do I. That you're not the only one that's been out there like I thought I was, because a lot of us see the other moms going home from the hospital and get very bitter and angry because they get to go home with all the flowers and the balloons and of course their baby in their arms. And you're going home with no baby in your arms and a wristband on that gives you access into the NICU to go visit your baby and have visitation with your baby. And some of the time, the stuff you see is very emotional, and then you're right there in it. And there's times that I just cried when I was up there, and all the nurses would just hug me and tell me that I will get through it. And they were very good not to sugarcoat anything, not to tell me, oh, it's going to be okay. Very careful. I'm very careful when I talk to families about that, because for me, the point is not, is it going to be okay? For me, the point is, Jesus is the one that's going to get you through it. Just like all the nurses said, you will get through this. And I say I got through this through Jesus. And so my family and I started JLYASDI's Journey, where we're able to use many of our spiritual gifts. We have many volunteers that have different spiritual gifts that we can use in our community. But if you like speaking, there's plenty of opportunities. If you like just visiting families, you pop in, word of encouragement, hand them a gift bag, tell them you'll be praying for them, you can do that. If you're not able to get out, but you're a prayer warrior, we have prayer warriors that are on our email contact list. I'll send out a prayer update, and you can pray for these babies. That means the world to them. You can, after you pray, let families know that you prayed for them. And the way we do that, we started in pagers back in the day. And now with the internet, it's so easy. You can just go to our website, www.ababiesheart.org, click on prayer updates, scroll to the bottom, put your name, and you could say Caleb in Hallsville and submit, and it'll say Caleb in Hallsville just prayed for you, and it'll send the families a prayer notification via email or text, whatever they choose. And families have told us personally that those prayer notifications came sometimes at the middle of the night, because we have people that work shift work. Whenever God leads them to pray, they pray, send a fast prayer notification, and the families are alerted. And they said that the doctor had just come in. I can think of 2 specific cases. The doctor had just come in and told them that their baby's going to be transported to Dallas, and then the prayer notification went off, and it said Caleb in Hallsville just prayed for them. So there's so many different ways you can use your spiritual gifts in our community, even from your house. Us being open to what God wanted us to do, because I never would have said, oh, let me have a 1 pound, 15 ounce baby girl, and let me let her live in the NICU the first 2 months of her life, and then so I can minister to other families. No. But when you go through a situation, God shows you, be obedient to Him. He's going to walk you through that situation. He's going to lead you to other families that need encouragement and that need love and need the support. And having JLYASDI's Journey come in just kind of provides a support system for families, especially if they're from out of city. A lot of ours don't have, I was here in Longview, so all the families here, but don't have a lot of family support. So sometimes there might be 1 or 2, there might not be any when we go in some rooms. So depending on where they're from, location is a problem. It's everybody working together and uniting so that we can show others the love of Jesus and let them know that Jesus loves them, and so do we.